Major milestones. Now, first thing, before going directly on these four, different stakeholders can have different concerns in the project. And these different concerns can be like customer can have a concern related to budget and time period, risk, progress. Then system engineers can have concerns related to the comparisons, the requirement changes, consistency, quality, usability. Developers can have concerns related to sufficiency of requirements, frameworks for component selection, product line compatibilities, development environment, sufficiency of resources. So these become some of the concerns related to different stakeholders of the project. And the milestones that are being set up, the major milestone after completion of every phase, that is, are being divided into these categories by keeping these concerns in the mind. Okay, so first one is our life cycle objective milestone. Objective milestone will happen at the end of the inception phase. We just have seen this thing in diagram also, that it will happen after completion of inception phase, where requirements will be completed, contracts will be finalized. And here the main objective is to present to all stakeholders a recommendation on how to proceed with development, including a plan, budget, time, profits, cost savings. All these things will get clarity after completion of this inception phase, and at this milestone we are ready with all these things so that we can proceed with the elaboration phase. So you can say that a life cycle objective milestone is successful when we get the authorization or agreement from all stakeholders to proceed with the next phase. That is objective milestone. Okay, when things will be like, okay, yes, all these things are ready, our plan is ready, our estimated budget is ready, our time period is ready, in this time span we'll complete this project, what will be our expected profits, all these ideas will get clarity, contract is finalized, our requirement model is set, initial one, then that means our this milestone is achieved. Then comes our second one, architecture milestone. Architecture milestone, obviously as the name is suggesting, it will happen at the end of the elaboration phase, second phase. And primary objective is to demonstrate an executable architecture to the stakeholders. Executable architecture means which gives us a complete idea about the project. What are the different components, subcomponents, what are the tasks that will be assigned under components and subcomponents. When we will have that kind of complete architecture, a self-explainable architecture to the stakeholders we can provide, that means our this milestone is achieved. Okay, so here we can say that a successfully completed life cycle architecture milestone will give us the authorization and agreement from the stakeholders to proceed with the third phase, construction phase. So stable architecture has to be baselined over here in a understandable language format which all stakeholders can understand. Stability, you can say here, means the quality of the architecture, performance, adaptability, scalability, all these things should be like focused while developing this architecture. It should give us a complete idea so that we can assign different tasks to the people. We can have the complete idea about the budget of those particular tasks, so that we can have idea about complete project budget also. So that is the main motto over here for architecture milestone. And when all these things will be in our hands, that yes, now we are ready for the implementation part. We can divide the task, we can allocate the task to our team members. That means our this milestone is achieved. Third one. Okay, this diagram is showing you engineering artifacts for your architecture milestone, for your second milestone only. Okay, these are the engineering artifacts. So what are these engineering artifacts? From your requirement phase, architecture, scope and executable libraries which are required. So you can see over here from architecture's point of view, there are different views being shown, like design view, in which object models are shown, objects. Process view, runtime layout, executable code. Component view will give you the subsystem layout. What are some different subcomponents, components. Deployment view will have runtime layout, target executable code. Structure, we are talking about structure. Okay, then use case view. Here test case structures, test result expectations. All these things are to be implemented. We should have all these things with us when we are talking about architecture milestone. So it will be like a cross check on all these things at milestone of architecture at the end of the second phase, that is elaboration phase. When all these things will be handy, will be ready, that means our milestone is achieved. Next is about this one, which is default agendas for your architecture milestone. What things you have to do. So it is an agenda. I will not ask you to cram these things from your exam perspective. Just have some little idea about this one, architecture, and just have some main idea about this architecture part, different views of architecture. What are different engineering artifacts of architecture milestone? You should have some little idea about architecture views. That will be enough. Okay. Okay, just give me a second. I will download your attendance. Strength is 17. Okay, next one. I will come on this diagram at the end of this topic. Now first let me complete these two portions and that will be enough for this class. Third one is initial operational capability milestone, which occurs at the end of the construction phase. That is your third phase. And main objective here is to assess the readiness of the software to begin the transition to the customer. That means we are here planning to release the things to the customer. And for that purpose, we should have all things ready. And how it will be ready? When the construction phase, the implementation portion will be done. All submodules, module wise implementation, complete system integration, module integration, and then complete system setup is there. So at that point of time, we will get an idea, we will get to know that yes, our system is now ready to go to the stage of transition. That is called as initial operational capability milestone. So here, after completion of this one, we can start our acceptance testing phase. Okay. And last one is product release milestone. Product release milestone is about Just give me a second. Release milestone is about your transition part where we are ready with things to be deployed, and it occurs at the end of the last phase, that is transition phase. Main objective is completion of the software and its transition to the support organization. The result of the acceptance testing will be reviewed over here, and all open issues will be addressed if there will be any. Okay. Metrics to check the quality of the software are to be reviewed to determine whether the quality is sufficient for the transition to the support organization or not. That will happen during this milestone. So if all these things will be okay, then that means we have achieved our what do we say, this release milestone, and we are ready to deploy the product. Okay, so that is the meaning of these 4 points. Now you tell me if you are having any doubts related to these topics. You can unmute yourself and discuss with me.